Hello, welcome to Align and Flow, our level 1 flow class. Let's start on our back today. So come down onto your back, and when you come on down to your back, start with your legs extended, your feet as wide as your mat, and take your hands under your bum. So you want the flesh of your bum there. And then if you push the flesh of your bottom down towards your heels, right? So it's like you're pushing the flesh of your bottom away from you a little bit. And then let yourself settle back down. See if your low back, and this isn't gonna work for everybody, right? But see if your low back there, by pushing the flesh down towards your heels, see if that lets your low back get closer, if not touching the mat there. And see if that feels a little bit more comfortable in your low back. If that feels less comfortable, readjust yourself, lift your bum, let the flesh travel back. If you still feel uncomfortable, if you still find that you've got quite a curvature in your spine there that's creating a lot of lift in your low back, then bend your knees and bring your feet to the mat, and we'll begin like that. Otherwise, if you're comfortable with your legs extended, then please try that. You can let your feet flop out to the sides there. Remember, your feet are about as wide as your mat there, so you've got some space between your legs. Let's take the hands onto the body. So onto your front body, and I want you to spread your fingers so you're really taking up space with your hands here on your body. And then take a few deep breaths here and notice how your hands rise and fall with your breath. And if you don't feel that, move your hands a little bit more or spread your hands a little bit wider to see if you can feel the movement of your front body, your belly, your chest with your breath. And then relax your shoulders, relax your neck. Relax your arms and just let your hands rest where they are. If you find that when your hands are resting on your body, your elbows aren't touching down and that's uncomfortable, widen your hands. So take your hands closer to the edges of your body so that your elbows come closer to the floor. If your eyes are still open, let them close when you're ready. And if they need to stay open for a little while, that's fine. Just gaze at the ceiling. Notice these deep breaths from all the angles here. So what can we notice about this breath right now? We can notice how it sounds when you breathe in and out. And we can notice how the hands are rising and falling with the belly and the chest. This expansion in your diaphragm as you inhale, creating this lift. This expansion in your rib cage. And then the exhale, settling the rib cage back in towards the diaphragm. Sometimes you might be able to visualize what the breath looks like. And it could be it's going to be a figment of your imagination, but that's good. That's okay. Notice if you can see the breath. If you're still holding on to tension anywhere in your physical body or your emotional body, if there's something that you're still holding on to, go deeper into your breath. Into the feeling, into the sound. Into what you can see. Can you keep your eyes closed? Can you keep your legs relaxed, your arms relaxed? Just gently turn your head to the right so that your right ear comes down towards the mat. You might even want to lift your head up a little bit there and place your right ear down, but that also might become too much. So if that's too much, just let the head turn to the right as much as is comfortable. Spend a few moments there. Observing. And then bring your head back to center. And then turn your head to the left. So the left ear comes down. And if you want to lift up and turn your left ear down, you can. But again, don't do that if that's a bit too much or if it doesn't feel comfortable. Relax the shoulders. And then bring your head back to center. So the back of your head comes back to the mat. And slowly start to bend your right knee. If your legs are extended, you bend your right knee. And then you'll bend your left knee. And walk your heels nice and close to your bum there, as close as is comfortable. And we'll take the arms out into a T shape here, letting the backs of the hands rest back and turning the palms to face up. Let your fingers curl in there. Notice the backs of your arms and the backs of your shoulders here. If your shoulders are lifting up at all here away from the mat, let's release that tension and roll the backs of the shoulders back into the mat. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Now keep your arms where they are in that big wide T shape and keep the arms nice and relaxed there. And bring your right knee up towards your chest so your right foot comes off the mat there. And your right heel is down towards your bum. And if you want to open your eyes here, you can, but you also are very welcome to keep your eyes closed for a little bit longer here. Do what feels right, what feels most appropriate. And then point your right toes. And then start to lift the right heel up away from the bum there. Keep the toes pointing. Now, you don't have to straighten your right leg, just as straight as is comfortable and accessible. Maybe you get a little sensation or a lot of sensation in the back of the right leg. Just don't go anywhere crazy. Just say you feel some sensation back there. And then flex your right foot and bend your right knee again, bringing your heel back towards your bum. So now that's our movement. We're just going to use the breath. So point your toes. Inhale, lift the right foot up, extending the right leg. Then flex the foot and bring the heel back down towards your bum as you exhale. We're going to keep the head, the neck, and the shoulders relaxed. Inhale, point, and lift the right foot up, extending the leg. And then exhale, flex, and bend that knee again. Now, you might find that the more we do this, keep going, inhale, point, and lift up, you might get a little bit straighter in the right leg. You might find that that doesn't happen, but you can play around there. Flex the right foot and start to bend, bringing the heel back towards the bum. We're going to do that just 2 more times. Inhale, point as you lift up, straightening that leg as much as accessible, and then flexing as you bend, heel back towards the bum. We're going to do that one more time. Point, inhale, lift up. And exhale, flex, and bring the heel back down towards the bum. Okay, now take that right knee and the outside, keeping the leg bent and keeping the foot flexed, and you're gonna bring the outer edge of that leg out to the right. And it might touch down, it might not touch down. It's okay if it suspends a little bit there. It's also okay if your left bum cheek lifts up there a little bit or gets a little bit lighter. Just open out that right knee out to the right. So it's kind of a similar sensation to your Supta Baddha Konasana when we bring the soles of the feet together. But then if we came to Supta Baddha Konasana, that right leg would be a little bit lower. So a little bit closer to the other end of your mat. So for here, we're gonna open that right knee straight out to the right, as if you were gonna touch that outer right knee, thigh, and calf down towards the mat. Take another breath. And then bring that right leg back to center and put the right foot down on the mat. And then take your left knee in towards your chest and point your toes. Arms are still out nice and wide. And then we'll lift the left leg up to extend it as much as is accessible. And then flex the foot and bend the knee, bringing the heel back towards the bum. And then we do the same movement with the breath. So point the toes and inhale to extend. And then exhale, flex and bend. Nice and slow, so don't rush through this. Inhale, point and extend. And exhale, flex and bend. And keep going. Inhale and see how you feel. Play around there. Maybe the leg gets a little bit straighter as you start extending, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's happy staying soft and bent. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhale, pointing and extending. And exhale, bending and flexing. And one more time. Inhale, point and extend. And exhale, flex and bend. Now the left knee comes down, and then we open out that left knee out to the left. Keep the left toes flexed. The leg doesn't have to come all the way down, but if it feels more comfortable to kind of lean over a little bit and let it come down, you can do that. We're just really going for a gentle stretch in that inner left groin. So again, don't go anywhere dramatic. Don't go anywhere aggressive where you're feeling discomfort or pain. Just some sensation. That's all we're really after. Even if your leg is all the way up here, it's that opening that we're after there. Just another breath or so there. And then bring that left leg back to center and put the left foot down on the mat. Now let's bring the right knee up into the chest and then the left knee up into the chest. You can cross your ankles there. Bring your arms to hug your knees into your chest and then hug the knees in. And take the knees a little bit wide. So your ankles are crossed, but your knees are a little bit wide. They don't have to be super duper wide, but they're not coming together. Just letting the knees be comfortably wide here. Take a little rock side to side. Still keeping the head and the shoulders nice and relaxed there. Okay, and then uncross your feet. Take your arms up overhead, inhale. And as you exhale, lift your feet, and we're gonna roll up to come to sit. And then we're gonna swing the legs around to come into a tabletop. So coming onto your hands and knees here with your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. We're gonna start by threading the needle, taking the right arm under the left, coming all the way down onto the right shoulder and the right side of the face there. Spread your right fingers out wide and press the back of the right hand and the right arm down into the mat. And then press your left hand, which is just there in front of your face, press that down so that you roll further back towards the back of your right shoulder. And you can just let your head relax there. You're not trying to look anywhere. The more you roll onto that right shoulder, you might feel that your head tips a little bit, and that's fine, but don't make anything happen there. Just relax the neck. And then Start to bring your left hand back down in front of your face, push down, and come back up into your tabletop. Then let's do the other side. So the left arm is going to thread under the right. We're going to rest onto the left shoulder and the left side of the face. Press the back of the left arm and hand into the mat. Then press the right hand down in front of the face to roll further onto the back of the left shoulder. And breathe. Remember, you're relaxing your head there. Take one more breath. And then press back into that right hand and come back into your tabletop. Hands under your shoulders. Knees under your hips there. Then walk your hands around to the left. So your left hand there isn't going to come any further than your left knee there. And you want to keep your thighs, the front of your thighs, facing forward towards the front of your mat as you walk your way around. So you get a nice length along the right side of the body there. Try to keep the arms nice and straight so you're not rounding down towards your mat. And then walk your hands all the way around to the right. Same thing, right hand won't go past the right knee. We keep the fronts of the thighs facing forward. And we turn the chest towards that space between the hands. And then come back to center. Back into your tabletop. Bring your knees as wide as your mat, or as wide as you can comfortably get them there. Bring your big toes to touch. Sit your bum back towards your heels, but before you come all the way down into your child's pose, you're still up a little bit here. Your bum is sitting back towards your heels, but your chest is still up. We're going to take the right arm, thread it under the left, but last time we rested onto the back of the right shoulder, so we're not going to do that here. This time we're going to thread that right arm under, the right palm is facing up, and we're going to walk that left hand forward so that we're facing the chest down towards the mat. It's over that right arm. And then if you can bring your forehead down, you can bring your forehead down. If you're up a little bit higher and your forehead doesn't come to all the way down, that's fine too. Make sure you're sitting your bum all the way back towards your heels there. So nestle back if you feel yourself moving weight into that left hand. Another breath. And then walk that left hand in a little bit so you can lift back up. Bring your right hand out in front of you. Take your left arm, thread it under your right. Left palm is facing up, and then we come down, straight down. So you're facing down, your chest is facing down, right over that upper left arm. Right hand moves forward, and you can bring the forehead down, or you can hang out with the forehead not touching down. Make sure you're nestling your hips back towards your heels. Another breath like that. And then walk that right hand back in a little bit so that you can come up, releasing that left arm, and then walk your hands all the way forward, coming into your wide knee child's pose. And you might have your forehead down, maybe a cheek to the mat if that feels better for your neck. Let yourself be nice and long along the torso. So your bum is sitting back towards your heels and your chest is lengthening forward towards your hands. So rather than rounding down towards that space between your legs, you're lengthening forward towards your hands. Another breath here. And then start to walk your hands back towards your knees. Lift your hips, tuck your toes under, and then lift your knees up, and we're going to walk the feet wide so we come into a squat shape. If your heels don't come down, that's okay, but if your heels will come down, let them come down. You might need to widen your feet even more. Toes are turning out. Try to keep your chest lifting here so you're not rounding again towards that space between the legs. We're going to keep the shoulders back and the chest nice and broad. Hands out in front of you there. Take a breath. And then start to turn your feet parallel. So your feet are going to be as wide as your mat there, or if they're not, move them as wide as your mat. And then lengthen your legs. Extend your legs so your bum's going up towards the ceiling. And then drop the crown of your head down. Now, your hands might not be anywhere near the mat. That's fine. If your hands are down, that's fine. You can also grab onto opposite elbows wherever you are and take a little sway side to side. Shift the weight forward into the fronts of the feet there. And then come back to center. Now we're going to put the hands onto the mat, and you might need to bend your knees to do that, and that's fine. Bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can get your hands down, even if it's just the fingertips, just so we've got that little bit of support there. I'm going to keep my legs straight, but again, you can soften your knees as much as you want, okay? Now we're going to walk the hands around towards the left, just as we did before when we were on our tabletop. Your left hand doesn't really need to go any further past your left heel there. Walk your right arm around your right hand as well, so your hands are under your shoulders. But think about the thighs and the front of the thighs, once again, facing forward towards the front of the mat. And if you take that right thigh back a little bit, you're going to feel some more length along the right side of the body. And again, you can have the knees bent, still just as effective. Another breath there. Then we're going to walk it all the way around to the right. Again, right hand doesn't have to go any further past the right heel. Left hand under the left shoulder. And we want the thighs facing forward, so take that left thigh back in space a little bit. So we're lengthening along the left side. Another breath there. And then come back to center. And again, let your knees soften as much as you like. Let your arms dangle here rather than grab onto opposite elbows. Keep the shoulders nice and round, head hanging down. Soften the knees here and roll all the way up to stand. Take your arms all the way up towards the sky. Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Interlace your hands. Push your palms up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, lean to the right. Take your left hip out to the left. Push the palms out to the right, getting a lot of length along the left side of the body. Then inhale, come back up to center, and exhale, lean to the left as you take your right hip out towards the right. Push the palms away. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. Separate your hands. Reach your shoulders back. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, release your arms down by your sides. Coming to Tadasana. Big roll of the shoulders back in space. Turning the palms to face forward. Rooting down through the legs. Take a deep breath in. Reach your arms to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, fold, softening the knees, coming all the way back down into your Uttanasana. This time your feet are about hips distance apart there, so adjust if necessary. Drop the crown of your head down and then inhale, rise up halfway, lengthening. So slide your hands up your shins. Ardha Uttanasana, rolling the shoulders back, finding a flat back and straight legs. So you might be up high, you might be a little bit lower. Take another breath. And then as you exhale, soften your knees and fold. Now we're going to bring the hands down, so bend your knees as much as you need to. Now really mindful steps of the hands forward. Spread the fingers wide, grip the mat with every step forward of the hands until your hands come forward of your shoulders. Bum is up in the air. Bend your knees and come up onto your toes. And then press the backs of your thighs back as you drop your heels down towards the mat there. Feel free to go into a pedal, so one knee bends and the other leg straightens. And then super slowly switch. No need to race through this. Give yourself the chance to feel everything. And then come to center, come up onto the toes, bend your knees, and start to walk your feet forward towards your hands. Coming to your Uttanasana now with the front of your mat, feet about hips distance apart, folding there. And dropping the crown of the head down. Inhale here, rise up halfway, slide your hands up your shins, flat back, straight legs. And then exhale, Soften the knees and fold. Roll up. Take your time as you press down through your feet and reach your arms up towards the sky. And then arms down by your sides. Tadasana. We're going to take a big step out here. So we are taking a wide stance on the mat. And we'll start with the feet nice and parallel here. So you're lining up with the pinky edges of your feet with the short edges of your mat there. Take your hands onto your hip points here. So that's not your waist, right? That's not where your navel is. That's not where your lightings are, right? You're down at your hip points, which are these bony, knobby bits on the front of your hips. These are our hinge points, okay? So soften your knees just a little bit so that they're not locked out. And then start to hinge at those at your hip points. Take your bum back behind you as you start to come forward and down into a fold. So legs nice and wide still. We hinge at the hip points, crown of the head drops down. If you want to now straighten your legs, go for it. Otherwise, keep that softness in your knees. Maybe even a bigger bend is going to be necessary. So do what is appropriate for your body. Relax the head down. And then we're going to take the hands onto something. So we're either going to grab the feet. You can grab the feet if that's accessible. You can grab the ankles. You can grab the shins. Hold on to something there. And then grab the back, right? So if you've got your shins, you're going to wrap around for your calves. If you've got a little bit lower, maybe you're at the back of your ankles. And if you're going for your feet, you're going to grab and wrap around towards the heels. And again, your knees can be bent here. That's fine. Drop the crown of the head down. And then inhale, lengthen. Find length along your chest. So you get nice and long rather than round. And then exhale, drop the crown of the head down. Do that again. So inhale, lengthen the spine. The crown of the head starts to aim forward. And then exhale, fold, dropping the crown of the head down. Do that one more time. Inhale, lengthen the crown of the head away from you. Full lengthen out through the back body. And then exhale, fold. Another breath. Okay, now bring your hands down under your shoulders. And if you need to bend your knees to get them down, get them down. And again, you can be on fingertips. You don't have to be all the way down. Start to walk your hands all the way around towards your right foot. Turn your right toes forward. So right toes are turning all the way out towards the right. Then pivot to the ball of your back foot, that left foot. So your left toes and your right toes are all facing in the same direction, which is the same direction as your face, okay? Then take your left foot and hop it over to the left side a little bit more there, and then bend your left knee and bring your left knee down to the mat and let your hips drop forward a little bit there. Not as low as you could go there. We're not going to fully release and sink into this, but let the hips come forward so we feel that nice big sensation into the left hip flexor and quad there. Really press down through that right foot. Take another breath. Okay. Now lift that back knee back up. So you're on the ball of your left foot. If you look at your feet, your right foot is on the right edge of your mat. So if you had a line straight down the middle of your mat here, your right foot is on the right side and your left foot is on the left side. Bend your right knee, press down into your feet, and let's rise up into our crescent lunge. Now, you might find that this is too wide of a stance and you want to bring it in a little bit, stepping your left foot forward. That's fine, you can do that. Bend your right knee a lot so that the right knee is over the ankle, and then soften a little bit into that left knee. So we're not going to push that left leg straight at this stage. We're going to keep it soft. But we should be getting some sensation into the front of the left thigh and hip. So if you're not, maybe straighten a little bit more, or maybe back the left leg up a little bit more if you don't have a particularly wide stance. You're facing forward in your chest, nice deep bend in your right knee. And then let's take the arms up towards the sky for your crescent lunge. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. turn your palms to facing towards each other and keep the navel drawing back in. So think about the low belly, that space between your pubic bone and your navel drawing back in towards your body, towards your spine. Take another breath. And then bring your hands all the way back down. Now your left foot is over to the left. All we're gonna do is take the left heel in and down. So the left heel is gonna come down. We're still facing forward. Those left toes are now facing towards the left front corner of your mat. Bend nice and deep into that right knee. Press down to the right foot and rise up for your warrior one. Again, I'm in quite a wide stance here. You might have found that you're in quite a long stance, and you might want to bring that left foot forward a little bit. Go for it. Turning the chest to face forward, shoulders stacking over the hips. Nice deep bend in that right knee, but the left leg is nice and straight. So if you're like, whoa, that's intense, step forward a little bit. We still want to keep that space between the pubic bone and the navel drawing in towards the body. Take your arms up towards the sky. Warrior one, plug the shoulders down, palms to face in, spread the fingers, breathe, press that left foot down into the mat. One more breath. And then bring your hands all the way back down. Now, take the left foot and hop it over so now it's behind your right foot and put the heel down. So if you look at your feet, you're lining up right heel with the arch on the left foot. Then nice and deep into that right knee, and then as you come up this time, we're gonna come into warrior two, which means we're turning the chest out towards the long edge of the mat, but the right knee is still facing forward towards the short edge of the mat. Nice deep bend in that right knee. Again, you can shorten your stance if you find this a little bit too long. Press into the bottom of the left foot, and the left leg is super straight and strong here. Reach your arms out wide. You can turn your palms to face down, drop the shoulders down away from your ears, or if you have anything going on with your shoulders today, you could turn your palms to face up and soften your elbows a little bit there. So see how you feel. Reach those fingers out wide. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, bring your hands all the way back down, but you're gonna keep that left foot as it is and start to walk your hands back to center and turn your right foot parallel. So now your feet are gonna come to parallel. So you're back in your wide leg forward fold there, and we're gonna release the crown of the head down. Getting nice and long through the back body. Again, grab onto something, whether it's the back of your feet, the back of your ankles, the back of your shins or your knees. And then inhale as you lift the chest, find a flat back, knees can be bent. And then exhale, fold, drop the crown of the head down. And again, inhale, crown of the head reaches forward, shoulders draw back, spine nice and long. Exhale, fold, crown of the head drops down. And one more time, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Now I need to bring the hands down. So bend your knees as much as you need to do that. Come to the fingertips if that's better. We're walking the hands all the way around to the left foot now. Left foot and right foot all start to turn out towards the left short edge of your mat. Move that right foot over to the right a little bit. You're on the ball of the right foot, so the right heel isn't down. Left knee is bent. We're gonna bend the right knee and bring the right knee down. And again, we're letting the hips drop forward, but not sinking into it, right? We're gonna stay active. Press down into the left foot and let the hips move forward. So we get sensation into the right hip flexor and quad, but not overstressing into these muscles. Take another breath there. Then lift that right knee up. And again, make sure your feet, if you have that line straight down from the middle of your mat, your left foot's on the left and your right foot's on the right. If not, just adjust. Bend into your left knee, press down through your feet and rise up, crescent lunge, arms to the sky. Now remember, we're bending into the left knee, bringing the left knee over the left ankle, but the right knee is a little bit soft. Hips are facing forward. If you find that your stance is too long, just bring it in a little bit. Left foot back, right foot forward. Arms to the sky, plug the shoulders down. Space between the navel and the pubic bone, drawing back in towards the spine. Breathe. Sink a little deeper into the left knee. Another breath here. And then bring your hands all the way back down. Now take that left heel in and down so the right toes are facing towards what is now the front right corner of your mat. Bend into your left knee. Press down through your feet and rise up into your warrior one. So now your right leg is nice and straight. You're pressing down into the ball of the back foot. Your hips are facing forward. And again, if it's too much, if it's way too intense, just step the right foot forward and you'll find it more accessible. Nice and deep bend into that left knee over the ankle. Arms reach up. We've still got the low belly drawing back in towards the body there. Breathe. One more breath. And then hands come all the way down. Now that right foot is going to hop all the way over so it's behind the left foot. Bend into the left knee. Right foot is flat. Come on up, warrior two, which means we're now turning the chest out towards the long edge of the mat and your left knee is facing forward towards the short edge of your mat. You can reach your arms out with the palms facing up or down. If they're facing up, soften the elbows. If they're facing down, really reach. And then nice and deep into that left knee. Right leg super straight and strong. Breathe. One more breath. And then hands come all the way down. Keep that right foot flat. Turn your left foot parallel and walk back to your wide leg forward fold. Release the crown of the head down. Get nice and long. In the neck, along the torso, you can relax your arms. You can grab onto opposite elbows. Press down through your feet, take another breath. And then bring your hands back to those hip points, your hinge points. And then press down through your feet and rise up with a flat back and straight legs, coming all the way back up. And then bring your feet all the way back together. Now, we're gonna stand with the feet all the way together, big toes touching. Bring your hands to your heart, press your palms together. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears. And we're gonna bring the right foot, so bringing the right knee up into the chest and the right toes are facing forward. So left foot is nice and flat, rooting down through the left foot. Right knee is up into the chest, hands to your heart. Now, similar to what we did when we were lying down before, we're gonna point the right toes and we're gonna inhale, extend the right leg. Flex the right foot and exhale, bend the knee. Point the toes, inhale, extend, flex and exhale, come back. One more time. Point, inhale, extend, and exhale, flex, come back. Now we're gonna take it into tree pose. We're gonna take that right foot to the inside of your left leg. You can go low or high. Turn your right knee out to the right. And I actually want you to bring your right hand, the back of your right hand, so the fingernail part of your hand, bring your right hand onto the inside of your right knee as a gentle guide to open out wide. But your left hip is facing forward towards the front of your, facing forward. Then bring your left hand onto your left hip so you can feel that opening there, opening out with the right hand, left hip facing forward. Take just one more breath. And then release. Put the right foot down right next to the left. We're gonna take the weight into the right foot, hands to the heart, press the palms, lift the left knee up into the chest and point the toes. So find your balance first. And then inhale, extend, pointing the toes. Exhale, flex and bend. Inhale, point, extend. Exhale, flex and bend. One more, inhale, point and extend. And exhale, flex and bend. Then we come into our tree pose. Left foot comes to the inside of the right thigh. Left hand, fingernails to the inside of the left knee, opening that left knee out wide. And then right hand, bring it onto the front of the right hip. So it's like we're opening up, right? We're keeping the right hip facing forward and opening that left knee out to the left. Take one more breath. And then release the left foot and put it down and give your legs a shake. Okay, so let's stand back at the front of the mat with the feet nice and wide, toes turning out. Keep your chest lifting, and we're gonna come down back into our squat. And again, if your heels lift here, that's okay. If they go down, let them go down. Bring your hands to your heart this time. Press your palms together and lift your chest here. So we're not gonna round. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. Take another deep breath. And then let your knees come together. You can bring your hands back behind you. We're going to sit down and then lie down. Come all the way onto your back. Now let's bring the feet, knees bent, bring the feet to the outer edges of your mat. Then turn your toes out and then roll to the outer edges, the pinky edges of your feet, and let your knees knock out wide. So again, similar to our Supta Baddha Konasana, but we don't have the soles of the feet together, right? The feet are now as wide as your mat and the knees are opening out wide. Then bring your arms out into a big wide T shape there. So you're on the pinky edges of your feet. Then we're going to start to let the right knee, that right inner thigh, come down towards the mat, and we're going to start to so both knees are now going out towards the left, but you've kept your feet where they were, so your feet are on the outer edges of your mat, but you've now come to the inner edge of your right foot. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your face. And then come back to center. So again, the feet are still wide, and we're going to take the knees both now away from each other, right? So we're rolling back onto the pinky edges of both feet here for a moment. This is our midway point. And then we'll take that left foot, roll to the inner edge of the left foot, and let the left knee, the inside of the left knee, come down towards the mat. So now both knees have dropped over to the right, but the feet are still wide, feet are still on the outer edges of your mat. And then we'll come all the way back to center. Bring both knees back up. Bring your right knee into your chest and bring your left knee into your chest. You can cross your ankles there, and again, hug your knees in towards your chest. And rock around a little bit there, side to side. Okay, now release your arms again into a T shape, keeping your knees up into your chest. Uncross your ankles, and then let both of your knees come over to the left. But this time, your knees are staying together rather than where we were before when the legs weren't together. So this time we're stacking the right knee over the left. And they don't have to touch, but they're stacking this time. And then roll the back of your right shoulder back to the mat. Try to touch the back of the right shoulder to the mat. And see how it feels. If it feels good to turn the head to the right, you can do that. Otherwise, let the back of the head rest so you're facing up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths there. observing. Every opportunity to observe. And then come back to center. And we'll take the knees over to the right. Roll the back of the left shoulder to your mat. Maybe turning the head to the left or looking straight up. And then come back to center. Bring your knees back to center. And then come to Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees knock out wide. And once again, bring your hands onto your body, just like as we started this practice, spreading the fingers out wide, taking your hands a little bit wider on your body so that your elbows can rest down. And if not, maybe if you have a blanket or pillows nearby, you can prop your elbows up a little bit there. And spread the fingers, take up space, close your eyes, slow the breath. And see where you are here, physically, emotionally. Check in. And then when you're ready, extend your legs one at a time. Bringing your feet once again as wide as your mat, letting your feet flop out to the sides. You can bring your hands under your bum and move the flesh down towards your heels if you found that made things a little bit more comfortable earlier on. You can keep your hands on your body, or maybe you bring them by your sides, turning your palms to face up. Shoulders rolling back into your mat, back of the head resting back. Muscles around the eyes and the mouth and the nose and the jaw, softening and relaxing. And the body settling for release, for restoration. So let your breath start to get deeper. Extend your legs long if you've bent your knees. Take your arms overhead. Take a big long stretch. And then take your right knee into your chest. And then take your left knee along with it and hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock around. And then roll over onto your side. And find your way back up to your seat. Bringing your hands to your heart and bowing your head in gratitude for this body, this life, this breath, this practice. Namaste. Thank you.